Imagine you're just steps from your front door, the warm glow of your porch light in sight, when something grabs the back of your neck and starts chewing through your face. And the worst part, it has human eyes. What attacked 21-year-old Tanaka in the quiet town of Ashfield Ridge wasn't just some wild animal. What stalked him came from fire, and it might come back. This happened on the night of July 28th, 2014, in a remote hillside community in eastern Zimbabwe, where legends speak of something called the Ember beast. At the time, no one believed those stories, until over 30 villagers were attacked within just 2 weeks. Locals stopped going out after sunset. Kids were pulled from school. Entire homes stayed locked at night. And Tanaka? He thought he'd be safe walking home at 7:45 p.m. He was wrong. Tanaka had just finished his shift at the textile shop and was taking the long road back to his family home. The air was thick and humid, crickets loud. Not a single person on the street. It was like the town had been vacuumed clean. Off in the distance, the sky glowed orange. A fire had been burning atop Ember Peak for 3 days straight. Some said it was started by lightning. Others said it was a bad omen. Still, Tanaka wasn't the superstitious type. He rolled his eyes at the beast talk. Probably just wild dogs, he'd told his friend. But when he reached the fork that cut through a forest trail, his usual shortcut, something about it felt wrong. He looked behind him. No one. Then stepped into the woods. Beneath the tree canopy, the darkness thickened. He walked faster, then heard it. Crunch, crunch, shuffle. Tanaka stopped, turned around. Nothing. Dead silence. A full minute passed. His heart thudded louder than the insects. He shook it off. Paranoia, he muttered, and kept walking. But the trail didn't feel the same. Then came the second sound. A raspy, wet wheeze, like someone was breathing through crushed lungs. Tanaka froze. That wasn't paranoia, and whatever it was behind him. He broke into a sprint, heart hammering, dodging tree roots and low branches. Behind him, the wheezing grew louder, closer. Then crash, something leapt behind him, landing with a force that shook the ground. He didn't look back, just ran. He could see the edge of the village now, dim lights flickering in the distance. Almost there. But just as he reached the clearing, something bit down on the back of his neck. The pain was blinding. Tanaka collapsed, screaming as the weight of something huge pinned him down. He managed to glance up and saw a massive, black-furred creature, easily the size of a lion. But it wasn't the size that horrified him. It was the face. It had short, matted fur, crooked yellow teeth, and eyes. Eyes that were unmistakably human. It gnawed at his jawline as he shielded his face with trembling arms. He screamed again. And then, clang. A shovel hit the creature's skull. His mother and neighbors had rushed out and were beating it back with anything they could grab. The thing snarled, backed away, and then turned, calmly walking to the edge of the forest, and just stood there, watching them. Tanaka was dragged into the house, bleeding, barely conscious. His mother dialed emergency services. The police? "We don't chase dogs," they said. Except no dog has shoulders that broad, or stood upright like this thing did. No dog stares like that either. It sat at the edge of the trees for hours, just breathing, that same heavy wheezing sound, like its lungs were full of smoke. By sunrise, it was gone. The villagers had had enough. Elders declared it wasn't an animal. It was a cursed spirit, born in fire, hunting those who ignored the old ways. So, they climbed Ember Peak, the same one still scorched from the wildfire, and stayed up there for 2 days. When they returned, they announced, "The ritual is done. Our ancestors have been heard. The attacks stopped. The beast never returned. But to this day, in Ashfield Ridge, no one walks alone past sunset. And sometimes, especially when the wind carries the smoke from Ember Peak into the valley, people say they hear it again. That wheezing, then the sound of footsteps, and sometimes, if they look outside, two small human eyes are staring back at them, just beyond the trees. But of course, that's just a story, right? Unless you're hearing it too, right now. And maybe it's waiting for someone else to walk the trail tonight, like you. If you made it this far, tell me in the comments what you think this thing really was, because I've heard dozens of theories, and none of them feel right. Oh, and if you've ever heard heavy breathing outside your window at night, you might want to double check,